BBC Hooniverse.
You're watching the TGM production. Hello, and welcome to a brand new discussion video, film thing. Hello, and welcome to a brand new discussion video, film thing. Today we're discussing, will Doctor Who Unleashed return in 2026? Well, the answer is quite possibly. The reason why is because it's not available on Disney+. When Doctor Who returned, and they had works on Disney+, that did not include Doctor Who Unleashed or Tales from the TARDIS, which meant that we had two lots of BBC exclusive Doctor Who. Now, I personally think that's a good thing, because that meant there was a possibility that Doctor Who Unleashed could return off his own back, because it's a BBC iPlayer and BBC product. This product is down to do with Disney, and Disney didn't have a whiff of it. Disney didn't have anything to do with it. This is a good thing, because it meant that the BBC had reign on some of their products during the Disney Plus collaboration period of time. I, for one, am excited to see what happens next with Doctor Who Unleashed, because I thought that the work experience section was really vital to up-and-coming creatives who want to get into the industry. Because they learn about jobs that they wouldn't have thought of, and they might find something that they're quite into out of those jobs and go, yeah, I want to do that, because every production needs these roles fulfilled. So getting the experience of watching how it works in detail helps people to learn. And I think Stephen Powell is a cracking Doctor Who Unleashed presenter, because we didn't have a presenter really for Doctor Who Confidential. We had voiceover artists, narrators, if you will, for various series, different ones. But I think Stephen Powell being there from the beginning to what signifies technically the end was brilliant. And I really like the special 20th anniversary edition of Doctor Who Unleashed. I think it worked tremendously well. Overall, I think that Doctor Who Unleashed deserves the credit it doesn't get. It deserves everything, because it wasn't just amazing. It wasn't just brilliant. It wasn't all these words that I keep on using. Yes, there was some flaws to it, but they were very minor flaws. And overall, I think that the show needs more credit. And I know that, sadly, it won't reach the international audience. Bits might make it to DVDs, but I think that what's better about Unleashed and Confidential, if we're really going to get to that bit, is that Unleashed didn't really heavily rely on licensed music, whereas Confidential did. Right? So, I prefer Unleashed in that sense, because that meant that if you wanted to distribute it to a global market, then you technically could. You don't need to know who Stephen Powell is, because it's not about him, but I didn't know who he was before, and now I know he's a cracking Welsh presenter, and I'm glad that he's getting the credit he deserves for his job, because he's brilliant at it. The flaws I've got with Doctor Who Unleashed were minor. I don't just think it wasn't long enough. I just think that the way it ended just seemed a little bit like, well, that's it. It's been fun. Bye. So even if he does come back under a new show or a Doctor Who, would Unleashed follow? It depends on what happens in the 2026 special. So if the 2026 special goes ahead for an Unleashed, then we know that it'll happen in the next run. Because I think that there's going to have to be something in the contract that says you have to have Doctor Who Unleashed. Because it inspires a lot of people. It behind the scenes things, but to that extent, sort of are a lifeline for people that want to learn about the industry or people that are excited by these behind the scenes. If you don't have behind the scenes, then what's the point? I know that Peter Capaldi and Jodie Whittaker were the only Doctors never to have a behind the scenes documentary career with them, which is funny now, because Chris Eccleston had Confidential, David Tennant had Confidential, Matt Smith for a good while had Confidential, but Kyle Oswald, okay, let's rephrase that. So 9, 10 and a bit of 11 had a Confidential. Amy and Rory were the last companions to have a Doctor Who Confidential, right? Clara didn't have it. So from Clara Oswald to Jodie Whittaker's final episode, none of them had an Unleashed, which is quite sad overall. But I mean, a Confidential, sorry, not an Unleashed. And then David Tennant as 14 and Shooting at Where had an Unleashed. So Doctor Unleashed, which is a spiritual successor, technically not a sequel because it's not a scripted program, so it's a spiritual successor to Doctor Who Confidential. But I think that Unleashed sort of patched through and fixed some of the issues with Confidential and improved it and added new elements to make it triumphant. So there we have it. Do I think Doctor Who Unleashed will return? Yes, 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 yes. I think it will, and I hope it does. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the official Tom Mason YouTube channel